I'm currently in Bracefield in Hampshire, and this year, 2019, is the 40th anniversary of the children's television series Worzel Gummidge. And I'm going to take you down this road to Ten-Acre Field, which is where the wonderful actor Jon Pertwee filmed most of his scenes for the British series. Now this road was used for one of the scenes where the Crowman is walking up, and I think it's the episode Moving On in series 3, and this is where Geoffrey Bayldon, who played the Crowman, walked because he was chasing Worzel, who had stolen his bicycle. And this is also the road that is featured in the opening scene of the very first episode. So this is actually the road where Mike Berry, who played Mr. Peters, and the two children are driving up in the opening scene of the first episode. If you look over there, there's a little bit of forest, and that features in Worzel Gummidge too. It's in the background on all the Ten-Acre Field scenes. You get a better view of it there. So whenever I watch Worzel Gummidge and watch the scenes from Ten-Acre Field, you can always see this little bit of woodland in the distance, and that's it there. And it's wonderful to think that 40 years later it's still more or less the same. As you can tell by the noise, some of the fields are being ploughed today. I'm just hoping that Worzel's field isn't one of them. So as I mentioned, this road is the road where Mr. Peters and the kids go driving in the opening scene of the first episode, so I'm sure you will recognise that now. It hasn't changed really. Quite a few cars coming up and down this road today. So we are nearly there. It's just around this corner. And this is also the road, this bit of road here is where Mr. Peters pulls up in the opening episode to speak to the Crowman for the first time, to ask him directions to Scatterbrook Farm. So Ten-Acre Field is actually through this hedge, but there's an entrance to Worzel's Field just round this corner, and believe me, it is worth the wait. It's a spectacular sight. So the entrance to Worzel's Field is right here where this tree is. Oh, little squirrel there. This is the entrance to Worzel's Field, where this tree is, and as you can see there's a nice little pathway that can follow. And it's beautiful because it's not been spoilt at all. You have to fight your way through the branches of the trees a little bit, but as I said, it's worth it. Ah, look! Someone's put a wonderful photo of Jon Pertwee as Worzel Gummidge on the tree. How beautiful is that? That's lovely. Oh, and over here is another one. So that's a photo of, at the top, that's Jon Pertwee with Jeremy Austin and Charlotte Coleman. And that photo was taken in Ten-Acre Field. And below that is Mackenzie Crook, who is the new Worzel Gummidge, who we will be watching on our screens this Christmas. So this is the marvellous filming location for Worzel Gummidge. Here we are, Ten-Acre Field. And there's a lovely bit of artwork there that features Charlotte Coleman as Sue, Jon Pertwee as Worzel, Jeremy Austin as John, and Geoffrey Bayldon as the Crowman. And I love this sign as well. Worzel Gummidge lived here, 1979 to 1981. And there we are, Ten-Acre Field as it is today, 40 years later. And it honestly hasn't changed at all, really. Not much at all. And as I said, there is that wonderful little bit of forest, which features in quite a lot of the episodes. So any scenes that were filmed here, that forest you will see. As you can see, the field is full of wheat at the moment, but of course with the seasons the field changes, so sometimes it looks totally different. And this tree over here, I'll show you. That tree features in the episode The Return of Daft Head. Now Daft Head was a scarecrow that Worzel made, and there's an episode where Daft Head returns and Worzel tries his best to get rid of the scarecrow that he made. So yeah, there's a scene in the episode The Return of Daft Head where the kids are sat on the fence here and Worzel is hiding behind the tree. And when Mr. Braithwaite leaves the field, Jeremy Austin, who played John, says, "You can come out now, Worzel." And Worzel Gummidge pops his head up in between there. So he pops his head up and says, "Are you sure?" And then he pops down, walks along here and into the field to try and get rid of the scarecrow Daft Head. But I stood behind this tree earlier, and my head does not go above there, so I'm pretty sure that when they were filming the episode they maybe put a box behind the tree for Jon Pertwee to stand on, because it's quite a tall tree, as you can see. So I'm pretty sure that they must have put a box there for Jon Pertwee to stand on. And then when he sort of hops down, you do sort of see him sort of jump down and sort of walk along. So he must have been on a box or something for that particular moment of that episode. Unfortunately, it's a little bit dull today. The sun's been in and out all day, but it's still beautiful. But the field looked gorgeous earlier in the week. We were here on a really sunny, hot day, and of course you can imagine the sun shining on this wheat. It just looked absolutely stunning. It really did. It's very, very exciting to be here 40 years after it was filmed. It's a beautiful place.